Benson will be joining us here in just a second. For the Albuquerque Media, I'm Dave Schaller, the Senior Director of Public Relations. Tonight's attendance, 8,775 for a live gate of $697,000 and 901. 697,901. Performance of the night, Benson Henderson and Mr. Hallmann. And the fight of the night, Scott Jorgensen and Danny Martinez, 50K. So to repeat that, Henderson, Hallmann, Martinez, Jorgensen, 50K. Who was the first question? John Morgan?
Dave, just real quick before we get to the fighters, obviously there was one kind of odd incident tonight with Jason High where he put his hands on the referee afterwards. I saw that he's gone on Twitter and apologized, that sort of thing, but have you heard anything from either the UFC or the commission about any type of repercussions you might be facing?
No, I mean, ultimately that decision is going to be up to the commission when you talk about fines or suspensions. On behalf of the organization, completely unacceptable. You can't put your hands on an official. In the heat of the moment, a lot of things can happen. You can't put your hands on an official. So we'll regroup on Monday with the executive team and we'll figure out if there's any other things that need to happen. But ultimately, from a decision-making standpoint, from fines or suspensions, that's up to Commissioner King.
Okay, thank you. If I can start with Diego, please. Diego, obviously, you put on the war that I think people wanted to see here in Albuquerque tonight. But the scoring was a little controversial. A lot of people thought maybe you didn't do enough to win the fight. I know you haven't had a chance to go back and review it yet, but as the fight was going along, how did you score? Did you have a score? I mean, what did you think?
I definitely thought I won the first and the third round. I thought it was unanimous, but I haven't got to see the fight yet, so I can't really assess it. But I definitely thought I won the fight, and I thought 30-27 was ridiculous. But I got my hand raised, and I'm happy. I felt like I landed the big power shots. I felt like I had him wobbled. I felt like I had him hurt a couple times, and it was a good fight. I was happy with it.
Thank you, Sergio. Ross, if I could just get your take. Obviously, I think you said that you felt pretty confident you won. I guess how are you feeling now?
Yeah, I mean, I felt good in the fight. I came out confident, relaxed. I think I outclassed Diego. I picked my shots well. I think I won every round. Yeah, I mean, I came in here. Who finishes Diego Sanchez? The guy's a warrior. I tried. He put on a tough fight, but I believe I won every round. It just sucks. I'm hurt right now. I believe that I've lost half a paycheck. The judges here, they don't lose half a paycheck. I feel that I've been robbed.
And David, just circle back to you. Dana was conspicuously silent on Twitter tonight. Any indication from him how he felt about that decision? And I know sometimes when he disagrees with decisions, that half a paycheck shows back up. Any word from him?
Dana's at a family function in Maine, so no, that's why he was absent from Twitter tonight. So no indication from Dana. Obviously, a lot of controversy, and a lot of the reporters and folks online disagree with the decision. It was controversial at best, and we'll regroup with Dana on Monday.
And just one last question, if I could, Benson. Obviously, congratulations on your win. Obviously, very emotional after the victory. I couldn't help but notice you came over and there was an outburst there. You said, "Hey, what are you saying now? Talk to us now." Maybe you could just let us know. I think all of us on press row were kind of looking at each other and saying, "Who exactly is he talking to? Is he talking to us? Is he talking to the fans? Is he talking to the cameras?" Where was that outburst addressed, and who do you feel like is doubting you?
Not really addressed to anybody. I just more to the point. I do my talking inside the octagon. I know a lot of times your guys' job is to sell a story and to say this and to say that, and you want us to say this and to say that. You want, hey, Piotr Hallmann, say this, hey, and you gear your questions a certain way. I'm on your guys' tricks. Don't doubt. Like we're fighters, but we're smart guys too. We're not all Neanderthals. So I'm on your guys' tricks, trying to get us to say this and say that, and I just I want to reiterate. I do my talking inside the octagon. This is where I do my talking. So if any story you want to write, anything you want to say, judge it off my time inside the octagon.
Ben Tate, the CBS affiliate here in Albuquerque. Diego, with them talking about the controversy with the decision and stuff like that, would you like to see Ross again? And Ross, I want you to answer that behind Diego. Would you like to meet him?
Yeah, no, he was a fun fight. I had to fight him any day of the week. No, ain't no haters gonna rob me of my joy right now. My victory. This is a great night for me. I thought I won the fight, 100%. And so did the judges. And yeah, it's my hometown, but the judges came and they did their job, And you know, some reporters could say this, they could say that. I'm the original guy. I've dealt with this all my career. I've had people say, oh, he lost this fight, no, he didn't win this fight. You know what? I won the fight tonight. My hand is raised, and I'm happy.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I came in Diego's backyard. Possibly the best Diego that has ever been, fighting in front of his home fans, his family. He came out to put on to try and take me out. You know, I guess he was the most dangerous he's ever been. You know, and I think I beat him. So definitely let's do it on my home soil. Neutral grounds, and we'll do it again. You know, it was an honor fighting Diego. I've got nothing against Diego. I like the guy. He put on a great fight, and yeah, let's do it again. If that's what the fans want, we'll do it again.
John, can you talk about that the kick to the nose?
I landed that kick. I thought it was going to be a knee, and he was shooting in. I was setting up because Moraga's so quick on closing the distance and the gaps. So I knew that he was going to be a very dangerous opponent. I was looking out for his check hook that he always hits everybody with. And that's the only thing I was keen on. So when he didn't throw, I just like, forget him. Just throw a head kick or a knee. And then one of it was like a mix of it and just broke his nose.
Diego, right here. Your next potential fight is Mexico City, or you want to fight one more time before Mexico City?
You know, no. This was my dream fight to fight here in Albuquerque. That was my dream fight. To me, it was a dream come true. My other dream fight is to fight in Mexico City, to fight in Mexico, period. If it's anywhere in Mexico, but I've been, since I won the Ultimate Fighter in 2005, they've been talking about Mexico. It's been 10 years, now it's finally happening. I just got to win, and I'm looking to get on that card. I would like to get a fight with Diaz. I'm sure he wouldn't want to take the fight, but you never know what's going to happen. And that's the fight I would love to give Mexico, is Diego Diaz.
Which Diaz?
The little brother.
That's a good question, John.
Again, Diego, back to you. Looks like you injured your hand. Do you know what happened?
It's fine, man. This dude is built like a brick, man. And yeah, it's a little sore, but just gotta avoid all the people that want to shake my hand tonight. So got the little tape on there.
Finally, Russ. Quick question: do you regret staying as technical like you actually did in this fight?
Not at all. No, I mean, you get loose with Diego Sanchez, and look what he does, man. He takes people out. You know, Gilbert Melendez in the third round. You know, Diego comes on strong in the third round. I listen to my corner, I listen to my team. I've done everything what I trained to do. You know. We coming into this fight, I know that I'm a big puncher, I know that I'm a good striker, and I expected that I was going to finish Diego, but we knew how tough he was. No, I just stick to my game plan. I don't regret anything. I think I went out there and I performed well. I just regret having some of the judges, you know, being in Albuquerque. It would be different somewhere else.
Dave, obviously a pretty decent crowd that you had here. It's bigger than the crowds that you guys had in cities like Atlanta and Cincinnati. What are plans to bring the UFC back here to Albuquerque?
We'll be back. I mean, when Erik Perez walked to the cage, wow. I mean, what an ovation. And then John Dodson. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. I mean, this guy stole the show. And then, when he thought he couldn't be outdone, this guy right here, Diego Sanchez, comes out the DMX, and I thought the roof was going to shoot off. Tremendous. I mean, in this entire week, it felt like a big league event here in Albuquerque, and everybody from the Albuquerque Journal to the local affiliates, incredible. I mean, the media here was just tremendous, and you got to tip your cap to guys like Mike Winklejohn and Greg Jackson and Ricky Kay from the gym. Those guys have done a phenomenal job in building this market, and we'll be back.
Benson, talk about the reception that you got from the crowd, despite that you were fighting, I guess, quote, a local guy here.
I love the reception. I think I got a pretty decent reception. I wrestled with a bunch of buddies of mine from Dana College. They were all graduated from here in New Mexico. So I was getting a ton of messages, a ton of love from the amateur wrestling community here in New Mexico. So I think that's a part of where it all comes from.
Benson, can you talk about what a war that fight was? I mean, you guys were engaged in battle.
It was a great fight. It was a good, fun fight to be a part of. The first round, he hit me with like a shot, and like I blocked it, like I, didn't land cleanly, but he hit it, he landed it, and like pushed me backwards. Like, damn it, you're strong. But it was a good, fun fight to be a part of.
Good, Mike. Mark.
I'm not sure if you've been on Twitter since the fight, but there's some videos and photos circulating and people accusing you of fish hooking Perez. Do you have any response to that?
Yeah, you know, I heard that when I came back. I wasn't even aware of it when it happened until I came back and someone told me. And apparently it happened in the first round, and I finished him in the second round. So if once I heard that, I went over to Goyo and, you know, told him good fight, apologized, and, you know, I think he's a great guy and a great fight, and you know, I never want to do anything like that intentionally. You know, I like to cover the mouth a lot and go for RNC and go for a chin rip, and it was totally, like I said, I don't even remember it. So.
Did Goyo remember it when you talked to him?
You know, he didn't have a response. He was like, oh, you know, I think he was kind of down. So he's like, oh no, it's good, we're friends, you know. And we actually planned to maybe train together out in Vegas, so with Rick and Lindell.
Go ahead.
Question for Bryan. You're coming off a long layoff. You look impressive tonight. Congratulations, by the way. But how did you feel about your performance tonight?
You know, I was happy. Goyo's an extremely tough guy, man. I don't think he's ever been finished, and to go in there and not only win, but to finish him, you know, in his own hometown, I was pretty stoked. I had a really rough camp. I was very, very sick most of this camp, dealing with a lot of problems, and the last 2 weeks, everything seemed to come together. And you know, when you get a win in the UFC and a finish, you can't be, you know, more happy than that.
Thank you. And Diego, you brought back Nightmare for this fight. Going off your outcome, is this something that's here to stay, or are you going back to the dream in your next fights?
No. The nightmare's here to stay. You know, it's just the nightmare inside the cage, the dream outside the cage, and that's how it's gonna be.
Diego, you and John, could both of you guys just respond on how the crowd was and how important it was, how special it was to get a victory and win at home?
Man, the crowd was so electrifying, I just had to absorb it in. I felt bad because I didn't get to get that third round and continue on entertaining the crowd like how I wanted to. So, like, in my own eyes, I feel like I robbed the fans and robbed everybody here in New Mexico, but they were so appreciative of me being a local guy and just being from here. It's exciting because I got to rewrite history right now. Me and Diego wrote history, being the two ultimate fighters from New Mexico, born and raised, fighting in the first card here in Albuquerque and New Mexico. We just did it. We did awesome.
Walking out, the crowd was amazing. All I gotta say is I just was like thinking, I was like, man, this must be what it felt like to be Johnny Tapia. You know, I just put my hands out and I just took all that energy in from every single fan. You know, and it was just a great feeling and one of the best moments of my career.
And I forgot your name again.
It's Dave.
Dave, when you talk about the UFC returning, is there? I know it's too early to know when exactly you guys will come, but do you think it would be something like this year or?
It's hard to say. It's probably unlikely based on where we're at in the calendar 6 months into the year. I don't know that we'd be back this year, but Albuquerque made a huge statement tonight. I mean, the fans came out, the media came out. The atmosphere was incredibly electric, as Johnny Dodson said. You can't say enough good things about this market, and hats off to our team, and hats off to the media for doing a great job here.
This one's for Benson. After your fight, you went out a really kind of ecstatic showing, and my question is, seeing that this was your first submission since I believe 2010, and you kind of almost landed chokes in some earlier rounds, can you just talk about what it meant to you to get that finish finally?
Getting the W is the same as all the other W's. I'm just after good performances. Whether it's a submission or whether it's a knockout, sometimes you guys in the media don't understand what it is to win. Like, I don't know how many times you guys have competed at a high level, wrestling or tennis or football in high school or something like that. But you're after good performances. Whether you get a knockout off it or whether you get a submission off it, you're just after a good performance. So tonight I was able to have a good performance. Sometimes you get finishes, sometimes you don't. That's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. But it was good though.
So Dave, you just talked about how great the market was and the good reception. Can you address what took so long to host a card here in the first place?
Well, sure. The UFC is one of the most sought after live events in the world. There is still a long list of cities we haven't been to that want us. If you talk to our Senior Vice President, Piotr, who handles our bookings, his phone rings off the hook every day. from cities not just here in the United States but around the world. I think, you know, with this particular date, it worked for our TV partner, it worked for Tingley, and again, I can't say enough good things about how the fans and the media treated us here. It took us a long time, but hopefully it won't take us that long to come back.
For Rustam, if I could please, curious, obviously disappointed in the loss tonight, but what did he take from the fight at this point right now? Does he feel like he's ready to compete with guys like Benson, or does he feel like maybe, you know, drop back a little bit and work his way back up to the top?
Да, скажи, у меня все было, просто надо еще больше работать над функционалкой, над выносливостью, и я думаю, все в общем неплохо было, но надо еще больше работать, этого не хватило.
Well, I think my fight went well, but I have to work more on my stamina and condition, and we'll see what's going to be next.
Thank you. And for Peter, if I could, obviously a big win for you tonight. The eye pokes kind of marred things a little bit. How did you feel about the fight in itself?
About the eye pokes? Or?
Well, about your performance. I mean, did that make you feel bad? Did that take away from your performance that there were the eye pokes?
Yeah, during the fight it's also how you don't feel if you do this. I do this intentionally, and I think it's just happened, you know. You don't control all your movement, you know, and it was not intentionally. So, but I'm happy with the fight. I'm happy with win, you know. I really worked hard. 3 months ago, I changed a lot, moved to the MMA lab, you know, great camp with my man Roberto Flamingo, new coach. I leave my family, I leave everything, you know, to have good performance, to develop. I lose my last fight, and I see that I have to develop. I have to evolve, you know, and I do whatever it takes.
Do you think that move to the lab? Do you think you'll stay there for your next fight? I know you weren't sure beforehand.
No, right now I am overexcited about the fight. You know, I don't want to make a statement because too many emotions. It's a great team, you know, like a family, and I really feel good there. You know, I can say like this.
Sure. Thank you. And just one last one, if I could, for Rafael. I wanted to get his thoughts on the stoppage. There were some people saying that maybe it was early, or that maybe there were illegal shots thrown to the back of the head during that last flurry. I just want to get his thought on that and how he felt about it.
Yeah, I think he wasn't defending himself. I think the judge did a good job, and I don't see any strike on the back of the head. So I think the referee did a good job.
Hey, Dave, any more information on why the fight between Dodson and Moraga was stopped between rounds 2 and 3? It didn't look like the worst, you know, broken nose we've seen.
It wasn't a good one. It wasn't a good one. The doctor made that decision after the round. He took a really hard strike to the nose, and I think, you know, the doctor protected John. And, you know, at the time, I think John Moraga was emotional and wished that didn't happen. But I think it was a good stoppage. I mean, that nose was not looking good.
Bryan, over here. The media is always trying to match make, you know, 5 seconds after the fight's over. Looking at the bantamweight rankings, you know, it was a huge win for you. Are you thinking ahead to like maybe a rematch with Mizuzaki if Dillashaw gets the rematch with Sanchez?
Absolutely, actually. I didn't really think about that in my post-fight interview because I was so excited, but you know, I would love a rematch with Mizugaki. I thought I won that fight. We were in Japan. I lost a really close split decision. You know, I would love that fight. He's doing well. I think he's ranked 5th or 6th. So, yeah, that would be a great one. But whatever the UFC has for me, as long as it keeps moving me up the ladder, I'm okay with it.
John Dodson, you hold a win over TJ Dillashaw. Or any interest in maybe giving him a rematch?
I'll give him a rematch anytime he wants. I already told him that after the Ultimate Fighter finale. And I'll tell him again. I'll fight him at 35s, and I will be gladly to take that belt home with me too.
Question for John. What was your emotions going through when your post-match speech? What was the motivation for that? I know it's very electric to call out the champion like that. What's going through your mind?
In my mind, I've already thought I'm the best fighter at this division. At 125, I think I hold the power and the speed. Demetrius Johnson has the endurance level of everybody in the division. I can't take that away from him. He's very technical. But as we've seen it before, I put him down every 1, 2, and 3 rounds, and he ended up winning the fight. So in my mind, I still think I'm a champion.
And for Diego, what was going through your mind when the judges were reading the decision, when Bruce Buffer was reading off the scorecard? What was going through your mind there?
Well, you know, this is my 21st fight in UFC, so, you know, I've had some that, you know, I've been through this before. And I know that anytime you let a fight go to the judges, anything can happen. You know, it could go either way. And I felt in my heart I had won the fight, but I was just right there praying, man, you know, like, you know, you never know what's going to happen. And this time it went my way.
Dave, just a very quick question, I guess, about UFC Mexico. How much does the loss today affect Erik Perez from fighting on that card?
You know, that's a great question. It's a good question for Dana and Sean, you know, as we talk about matchmaking. You know, you look at Erik Perez, he's incredibly talented. And I don't think it hurts his ability as long as he's healthy to fight on that card. But I think tonight was more about what Bryan Caraway did. I mean, Bryan Caraway made a big statement tonight about where he belongs in the rankings, and he's the real deal at 135. So Erik will be back. And he's got a great team around him, and you know, he's the type of kid that's going to keep getting better and better. It was a setback, and I know in talking to him after the fight, he's disappointed. But will it affect him in Mexico? It's too early to say, but probably not.
You're mostly known as a grappler. Today your striking was amazing. Was that something you spent extra time on for this training camp?
I always try to evolve my other skills. I'm BJJ black belt for over 16 years, and so I always try to train more my striking game. I've been training a lot with Rafael at King's MMA, and so I've been working a lot of my stand-up skills. And so today I got a good TKO, and I'm very happy for that.
Congratulations.
We'll take 2 more questions if you guys have. Thank you again to everybody who came out and supported us here in Albuquerque. A tremendous event. We'll see everybody next week, the flyweight title in Vancouver. Have a great night. Safe travels, everybody.